Hey guys, I am here with a new series, but there's a different series what I said from the last video. This series is called What If Kakashi Adopted Naruto. So, the one with What If Naruto was in high school that's gonna come later. I'm gonna start this one out. So yeah, let's start it. Chapter 1. Son of White Fang. A broken, destroyed, or badly hurt by grief or veneration. No longer in working capacity. Not whole, lacking order or humanity. Kakashi Hatake was a broken man. Very few realized the truth. He smiled when he was supposed to. He laughed at the right times, like he should. He acted like a normal person, but those who knew him the best saw the spark missing from his soul. When he went to his lonesome house, the real mask came off. He would sit and meditate for hours, trying to find purpose in his existence. He just felt so numb and exhausted and suicidal all the time. All of the previous people he had ever cared for were dead. Some of the deaths were accidental or just fate. Some were caused by him, either directly or indirectly. His mother, father, sensei, and his teammates were all gone, leaving him to wander through life, wondering why he was chosen to outlive them. He was already in elite Jonin, a Ambo captain. Here he found himself at only 17 years old and questioning why he should go on. He would never consider suicide as a meaning out because of his father, but he thought all the time about losing a battle during one of his missions. Next one. He told himself that night as he went to bed, maybe if I'm lucky, I will die on my next mission. He knew without a doubt that he was a danger to everyone around him. His doubts as a Ambu were the only thing keeping him together. Killing others made the pain go away for a while. It only a matter of time when that would be gone as well. He was starting to mess up. He had trouble sleeping, keeping his mind focused. He could barely relate to anyone anymore. He's dark hard when he was off duty. Damn. He drifted off to sleep with thoughts of being a pair or some unknown reason. A common situation for him announces with him. Several hours later, he found himself awake much earlier than he anticipated to be. Starting at the calling, he had another nightmare. This one was about not being able to protect his father from killing himself. He kept seeing the torture side into his stomach and the blood pouring around his body. He had loved his father deeply. He was everything he wanted to be, but when he was gone, Kakashi's world was torn apart. Although it was only 2 a.m, he got up and dressed in the dark. The floor walls of his tiny apartment seemed close in on him, making him feel suffocation. He needed to get out. Throwing on his sandals, he jumped out the window and began his summoning wander around Konoha, as silent as a cat. The clouds hiding in the moon. The clouds hiding the moon made the night as dark as his mood. The eternal streaming of the streaming village was broken by the crimson sound of artisan levels dancing along the cobblestone path. In the light breeze, she deeply wishes she could find peace in the so title, but he could not. No matter how hard he tried. His former teammate Obito appeared next to him. Why did you have to kill her, Kakashi? I loved Rin. You should have protected her with your life. You failed me, Kakashi, said the ghostly voice in his head. Just like you failed everyone else. I'm sorry, Obito. I'm sorry, Rin. He mumbled softly to himself. It should have been me. He continued as soared towards the dimensional stone. When the sound of a tiny whimpers broke his dark thoughts, wondering that could be making that sound. He followed it towards of hedges, carefully pulling back the barbed branches. He spotted the source of the moans. What he had discovered surprised him extremely. A small child lay curled up on the ground sleeping. As he was shivering so hard that Kakashi knew he had to do something immediately. He bent over, pulled the branches wire, and tied to back up the small form. The kid, seeing the ninja, extremely awoke and back pulled away with a little frightened cry. A built-in moonbeam broke through the clouds, shining down on them and brightening the child's fixtures into grief. Kakashi noted the blonde hair and whisker marks on the boy's panicked face. 3 years had passed since he had seen a face like this one, the face of his beloved sensei and the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. A pang of deep sadness hit him hard. The look of sharp horror in the boy's eyes pulled him away from his own depressing thoughts. Kakashi tried to rescue the boy. In a low, comforting tone, he said, "Shh, it is okay. I won't hurt you. Naruto, I want to help you." He pulled his hand out to the boy and tried to get him to come out. Naruto let out a small squeal and curled into a tight ball, covering his ears with his hands and tracked his eyebrows to his sides. It was a pose of someone who knew how to defend himself from horror injury to the eyes, ears, and vulnerable organs. A pose of someone who had been beaten too many times. It struck Kakashi hard. This was the legendary of the Yumi, the hero of Konoha. What was he doing outside on such a cold night, sleeping in a bush? He stayed close to the child, speaking to him in a low, smoothing voice for a long time, till Naruto finally allowed himself to be extricated. Kakashi drew him into his arms and bowled him away. They passed under a street lamps. Kakashi couldn't help but to note the shallow skin and patches million figures. He waited next to nothing in his arms. He was also way too small to be 3 years old. He looked like he hadn't bathed in a very long time, and there was several bald patches on his head. The troubled odor coming from Naruto made his eyes water, but he said nothing as he carried the boy to the orphanage. He tried to get Naruto to talk, but would not respond. His eyes had such a dead look in them. Kakashi knew that look well. He saw it in the mirror every day. That took a change completely as he appeared the doors of the orphanage. Naruto began to struggle and cry as they got near. He shook his head and swallowed. Kakashi held him firmly, grasped his back, then beat on the door till someone answered. A middle-aged woman wearing a crimson sky robe and rubbing her eyes, opening the door. "Who is it? What do you want at this time of night?" she asked grumpily. Kakashi turned his body so that the boy was visible to her. "I think you might have misplaced someone," he said to her. "It is a little late for him to be outside." The woman's eyes narrowed as she noticed the tiny boy. With a look of barely continued disgust, she snapped, "Just put him down. He is always wandering away." Kakashi put the trembling boy down in regret and carried when the woman grabbed his hand and cringed when the woman grabbed his little arm and dragged him into the building. "I take care of him from here." She shuttled and then slammed the door on Kakashi's surprised face. Kakashi stood there in shock for a moment, then jerked when he heard the sound of a smack and pale crying of the boy. He smashed into the building to find the woman with her fist hovering over the crying child. She squeezed her hand and threw her across the room. "How dare you? He is just a baby," he growled. Searching Naruto up, he stormed away from the orphanage in front of the rage. Naruto looked at his furious face and began to sob and fight. Kakashi stopped and breathed deep to calm himself. He smiled through his mask, chuckling his eye. "I'm sorry, little one. I didn't mean to scare you." He hugged the sobbing boy tight to his chest, caressed his head, and said, "Don't worry. The worst is over now. I will never let anyone hurt you. Never again, Naruto. I will protect you with everything I am. I promise you." The boy stared at him with minutes before shocking with much trust before sucking on his thumb in his mouth. His eyes became wider, heifer as he fought to stay awake. Kakashi said quietly to Naruto, "Maybe now we both can breathe again, pup." The boy fell fast asleep in the copy nin's arms. As he walked back to his apartment, he period dark thoughts of his failing comments were held at bay for the first time in a very long time. Kakashi's mind was filled instead of images of the blonde hair, blue, cried, and worn to protect. "This time, I will not fail. I cannot fail," He tried to set up summoning the child down, but he colored hardly. Kakashi was able to lie down on the bed with the child on his chest. He fell into a deepless sleep, waking 4 times to calm the unknowing child. Yes, he knew all about nightmares. Well, chapter 2. Yes, the sun. Okay. Chapter 2. Yes, he knew all about nightmares. The sun was barely peeping over the horizon when the bags awoke Kakashi. Heart pounding, he led out of the bed, battle mode, with a kunai in each hand. He quietly scanned each inch of the room, searching for enemies before he realized that he was in his home. Still unable to shake the feeling that someone was he camped out of the room to hurt the injured. There was nothing in the living room. Suddenly, he remembered the events from last night. He ran back into the room. The boy was not there. He dropped to his knees and looked under the bed and then the closet. He was not there. He wasn't in the bathroom either. With only one place left to look, he went to the kitchen. Damn, I lost my place. Found it. The boy was behind the counter, dragging through the trash that was sweeping around the floor. He was about to put something in his mouth. No! Kakashi started disgust before he could stop himself. Drop that now! That's very bad. Naruto's whole body jerked in surprise before he squealed away in the corner from the room with his hands raised above him. A big fake tear rolled down his shallow cheeks, leaving the white spike in his white sparks on his dirty face. He makes baby noises. Okay. Kakashi was angry at himself for scaring the boy when he yelled. He sighed. I'm not going to hurt you. Calm down. Naruto looked down at the floor. Emba? Kakashi was torn between surprise that the kid finally spoken and confused at what he was trying to say. He finally thought to figure out what the child was trying to say. He said grantly, "You're not bad. Naruto had eaten trash will make you but eating trash will make you sick. Let's get you in a bath and then something good to eat, okay?" He solemnly nodded, then allowed himself to be leaned to the bathroom. Kakashi ran the bathroom water and then began to remove the clothes in disgust. When he took off his shorts, he was surprised to see an old cloth diaper. The kid had it on for a while. He could tell. He started to peel it off him, but Naruto began to cry in pain. He started his movement and placed both hands gently on his shoulders. He tried not to let the way of the child flinches affects him personally, but it still bothered him a bit. Kakashi looked him in his eyes and said, "Naruto, I have to take off your diaper. It might hurt a little, but we have to do it. I'm sorry, okay? But I promise I won't hurt you again. His body shifted and allowed his hand, but he didn't try swimming away. Kakashi peeled the diaper off to see a whole grown area of forms of a massive diaper ash. The backside was even worse. He put the crying boy into the tub and gently washed the grandma away. He had to refill the tub again, do all the dirty, but eventually he got the boy all clean. He lifted him out of the tub, dried him off, wiped him in a towel, then then took him into the kitchen, set him on the chair. He said, "Now, you just wait here, and I'll make you something good to eat, okay?" Kakashi was about to walk into the kitchen when he glanced back at Naruto. He had a serious expression on his face that looked just like Minato. Memories of their past together flashed through his mind. His heart beating to the race and he felt dizzy. "Oh no, not now," he thought as his hands became numb and his chest hurt. He slowly walked into the kitchen and slowly sat down the counter till he was resting on the floor. With long, slow breaths, he tried to control his harsh breathing. Knowing that this could take a while, he slowly bit his thumb and summoned some of his kunin. He explained the boy's situation with them and asked for their help. To Shuri, he said, "Watch the boy for me. Don't get close though unless he wants you to. He gets scared really easily." He pointed at Shimba and Inko. "Go find the boy something to wear and a diaper." They nodded their heads and peeked around the corner to take a look at the little cubie. Then ran out the docky door to complete their mission. To Oni, he said, "Go set up a meeting with the Hokage for me." Kakashi leaned his head against the counter and slowly began to count till his heartbeat returned to normal. He said in a toneless voice, "I don't want to talk about it." Wait. Oh, sorry. I missed a line. Kakashi swallowed, then sat down next to him. After 10 minutes, he asked, "Other panic attack, huh?" Kakashi just looked away from the rows to stand. He said in a toneless, "I don't want to talk about it" kind of voice. "I need to make the kids some food." He moved the shelf and removed some items. He started cooking while the pumpkin watched in silence. For some time as the minister on Pumpkin Valley spoke. "So, what are you planning to do with the Jinchuriki pup?" Kakashi didn't stop cooking a while. He thought and managed a reason. Finally, he shrugged his shoulders and replied, "Honestly, I have no clue. I haven't have a clue. Just couldn't leave him there, and I'm that all he has. Minato would be horrid to see what has become of his child. I have to do this for him." Pumpkin put his paw on Kakashi's leg and said, You are in no shape to take care of a pup, extremely one with problems of his own." Nevertheless, he said as he picked up the plates of food, "It will be done." He walked over to Naruto, who struggled and who shyly at Shuri, Yuji, and said, "Are you hungry, little man?" He set the plate of food in the front of the child and sat down next to him. "That's Yorishi, and that is Pumpkin," he said, pointing at each receive dog. "They are ninja hounds, and they will not hurt you. They might be watching over you formally." Naruto looked at each dog before he glanced at his plate. His eyes widened of the sight of all that food. His stomach growled loudly. He was a total breakfast containing of steamed rice and mussel soup, boiled fish, Kuzumo pigs, Nora down sweet, and Naruto solo beans. He reached out his hand towards it while looking at Kakashi. Seeing that he would not stop him, the blonde grabbed some amulet, shoved it in his mouth, and began to chew firmly. Then, watching the copy nin form in the corner of his eye, Kakashi overrides the kid completely and held the rest of the food. A few seconds later, Naruto's face turned green. Kakashi knew what was about to happen a second before it did. "Oh crap," he said to himself as Naruto turned his head to allow his stomach contents all over him. One of the most dangerous and powerful the ninja in the village of Konoha, had never sat in his chair with puke running down his chest and pouring on in his lap, in case a tiny 3-year-old boy sitting next to him weeping. He looked softly at himself and shook his head. "Well, I guess I should have known better, huh, little man? You're probably me something that is a lot easier to ingest and probably smaller amounts. I need a shower anyways. Let's just clean up and then I make you some, okay? He took the towel that was wrapped around the boy and threw it on top of the volume. Together they went to the bathroom. Kakashi turned the shower on. He took off his clothes and disguised and stepped into the shower. As the silver hair man reached out for him, Naruto said, "Again?" "Yup, pup, again. You made a quite mess on yourself." He pointed at the boy's chest. He brought him into the shower and cleaned him up. It soon became cleaner that Naruto had never been in the shower before. He held out his tiny hands and tried to catch the water as it fell. For one brief moment, Naruto turned his head up and flashed Kakashi in a brief smile. "How can one little smile make me feel so good?" he wondered to himself. A loud sound came from the door, so they got out of the shower and dried off. Kakashi opened the door to find his kin with clothes and a bag in their mouths. Kakashi dragged through the bag to find diapers and the pear ash ornament. To Inko, he asked, "Where did you find this?" The Tinsai, wearing the tan sunglasses wearing dog, responded, At the park, some lady set the bag down and forgot it. He sat near Naruto and let the boy softly pet him. Shiba found a pair of black shorts and white shirt. They were a little big. It was good enough for now. Kakashi dressed Naruto himself. Kakashi dressed Naruto himself. Alright guys, he said to the Kunin, thanks for your help, Inko. You can return these to the owner, then you all can go for now. They went back to the kitchen. Kakashi sat the boy on the counter, starting the rice cooker for the okayo, and cleaned the mess off the floor. The chubby, clear blue eyes watched the whole thing in silence. Well, he definitely not much of a talker, thought the nin. The fact that the kid was brutally seemed to understand him made him feel like talking while he cooked. Naruto wouldn't judge him or try to give him a stupid, useless advice like his friends had. He hesitantly began to speak, his voice raw with emotion. I'm so tired of hiding from everyone in my past because they buried up memories of what has changed my life forever. I've been sitting them out for so long. Got the anxiety and panic attacks whenever I face with someone or something that reminds me of what happened. I try of leaving this away. I'm tired of living this way. Sorry. Naruto watched him the whole time as he spooned to suppress that Master Kakashi's tone. I see myself in you. You have been through a lot, huh? I bet you hate being scared all the time. We need to stick together. You and me. I want to help you learn how to trust again. And then perhaps you can teach me how to love for a second time. If we're lucky, maybe our nightmares will go away for good. Kakashi wiped a tear from his eye and smiled, a little embarrassed. Meh, just ignore me, kid. I'm not unusually such a weakling. Your food is done now. You want to try to eat again? Yep, said Naruto. Alright, but this time I'm going to feed you. Kakashi fed him the rice, pouring very slow so that he could keep it down this time. The boy had a funny look in his face. The whole time he clearly didn't know what to make of the man that was being so kind to him. He looked at him without hate in his eyes. He talked to him without a mean undertone. The man actually wanted to hear him talk. It scares him. It was so confusing. Naruto, we have to go soon. We have some errands to run, and we have to see the Hokage. We have to get you some clothes and food for us. He set the plate in the kitchen, then pulled up his mask and put on his sandals. Ready to go? He turned back up the chubby. He wasn't there. I think that's where I'm gonna end it. So I see you guys in the other part of this. What if Kakashi adopted Naruto? And this is where I'm gonna leave it off. I hope you guys liked it, and drop a like and subscribe. See ya.